every once in a while, but not very often, Scribble Grandpa is blessed with some Romax that's not all tangled up. That makes wire stripping so much easier. So much easier. Brings me down to my Bear Bright. Which is going to be worth the most money. And by the way, the only place to get, or the only thing that is Bear Bright, would be wire like this. Stuff that you can bend like that, fairly thick, size of a pencil lead at least, and bigger, nice and shiny, will be Bear Bright. I don't necessarily always run my first run through my stripper, and the reason for that is because I don't have to. But when you get it in such good shape, if you do it right, it'll for the most part run right down the middle of that flat. You see it's unrolling as it's going. And I put it in there flat so that my cutter will go in between them all. Pretty much keeps it right on track. So look at that. Check that out. Oh yeah, perfect. So, I mean, it's really not that hard to strip this wire out of its casing. All you really do is grab that one Bear Bright wire that's already uninsulated, and you can just rip it out. But, like I said, if it comes in this good a shape, I can literally just run it down my stripper. I don't have to pull it through. This one did not cut it all the way through. But that's all right, because you don't actually have to run it through a stripper. You can just grab that one wire, and I'll show you that in a minute. Just grab that one wire and pull it through. The longer they are, the kind of harder it gets at the end sometimes. But what you end up with is that beautiful, beautiful copper gold. At least that's what I call it, because it's the highest paying copper there is out there. Bear Bright. And like I say, 90% of the time in my videos, I'm not a wire stripper. I'm not a fan of wire stripping. I think when it comes to the money that you would lose, in my opinion, by taking the plastic off, because the plastic, I mean, think about it. If you leave the plastic on, the scrapyard is paying for that. They're going to pay you for that if you keep it on there. Yes, they're going to pay you a little bit less. But it's not going to be that much. Listen, I'm going to tell you, the truth is, the only wire that I feel like is worth stripping would be Romax house wire. That's it. For that. For me, I would just take a knife, skin that piece of Romax back, as opposed to running it down my stripper. If I didn't have a stripper, I'd probably do this. I'd get that one bare cord right there. One bare cord. Like I said, you can 100% pull that easily straight through the Romax coating. Easily. Now I say that, but I say easily if your wire's not all kinked up and rolled up and stuff like that, it's gonna come out easy. If it is all kinked up and rolled up, forget about it. Just bring it in like it is. To me, it's just not worth it. The time that it's gonna take to try to strip that piece. I only strip straight Romax. If it's all kinked up, for the most part, nope. Straight into the bins is what I do. Anyway, here's a big old knife I got staring at me right here. Must have been sharpening it and didn't put it away. But yeah, that's my little chunk of Bear Bright. And what I'm actually getting to here in a minute is, once I get my first piece of Bear Bright out of my pieces of Romax that I had, I only had 3. I'm just gonna pull my Bear Bright out. You can also slice it like that and it will do the same thing. That one piece of Bear Bright. Ooh, goodness right there. There's some goodness right there. This yellow one is actually a little bit easier than that other one was, the white one. And there it is. Little piece of cardboard around it, no big deal. Wind it up. So that's, oops, a little bit of the cardboard in there. That is your #1 Bear Bright copper. Most money you can get. Better than #1, better than anything. Right there. Okay, now that I have them 3 done, what you're gonna end up with is these other 2 right here. Some people don't have a stripper, guys. If you go on YouTube, you can learn how to make a stripper fairly easy. It's real easy to make your own stripper. Sometimes I'll actually just take a very sharp knife and pull it across. This piece is not a very sharp knife. Pull it across and it bears it like that. So you do not need a stripper for this type of Bear Bright wire. See, look, no stripper needed. You will not be able to pull it out through like the other piece does, but with a very sharp knife. Excuse me a second, let me see if I can find my favorite knife. Oh, favorite knife is actually MIA. Oh, favorite knife. A very nice potato knife, maybe. If you can get one that's sharp. There, that's sharp, buddy. All right, so what I would do with something like that is I would probably put it away from me, like that, on the other side of the table. Try to keep from getting any amount of kinks in there. Take your sharp knife. Look at that. That's the good thing about this stuff. You do not need, a wire stripper to get that goodness out of it. All you need is a good, sharp potato knife. Look at that. There's trash on here now. I should have probably gloves on both hands, but I don't. Make sure you get it at least to where you can see the wire in one spot. I mean, it might not be quite as efficient as a stripper, but that's where you're going to get your most money, is if you're going to take the time to strip this stuff right here. You can also use just a regular utility knife. Just make sure you got a good sharp blade. This one is not very sharp. You can see it here dragging across the piece of copper. Don't think I have any real sharp blades out here today. And like I say, if it's kinked at all, it'll stop you short. So anyway, that's just another way without a stripper, because I remember when I did not have a stripper, that's what I used to do, except for I took, on my lap, I took one of them cloth pouches. I have videos of me doing it. I took one of them cloth pouches, put it on my lap, on my leg, and I pulled the wire through my knife. And I have videos of actually me doing that, because I've done a lot of that at the beginning before I had a stripper. Stripper is definitely convenient, even if it has a little bit of a kink in it. It's not terribly terrible. Wire to me is like, drives me crazy. I'm not gonna lie, wire drives me crazy. I'm a fan of bringing it in with the casing on it. Not everybody is, and I know a lot of people are gonna say, I strip all my wire, even my extension cords, even my 220 cords. I get it, but people are doing that. They're like, look, I don't have anything but time, and I kind of get enjoyment out of it. Well, I understand that too, guys. 100%. I understand all about enjoyment and that. For me, if it's going to be the same amount of money, if I'm going to make the same, or a couple dollars, maybe even a couple dollars more, if I'm going to make just a couple more dollars for stripping that, and I spend 30 minutes to do it, I don't see where the money's at. My time is valuable. I have a lot to do. If your time is valuable, or maybe, like you say, you just have the extra time. What I'm saying about the extra time is, if you make $1 or $2 in a half an hour, for me, I just can't see it. So strip it if you want to. But now this, I will all day long, if it's straight. You're not gonna catch me stripping an extension cord. I got 2 up and coming videos. Been thinking about them for a lot, so I hope they end up coming out better than mine do now. I'm working on trying to figure out how to make better videos, more interesting. So if you're interested in finding out how much 1 pound of this would get me at the scrapyard, 1 pound of this would get me at the scrapyard, and then taking them 2 pounds, stripping them down, and then finding out again what I would get at the scrapyard. Don't forget, I'm gonna have trash that I'm either gonna have to pay to get put away, or I'm gonna put it in my trash bin and my local trash guys pick it up, which if you had to pay for it, think about that. So that's an upcoming video. Hope you guys stick around and watch it. I'm gonna take the rest of this wire. I am gonna get it stripped down just because it's bare bright, and I do have a stripper, and it's so straight. I love it when it's straight. I'm just gonna go ahead and do it, and hope you guys have a blessed day. Scrapping with Grandpa. What's next? What's next? What's next? I just told you what was next. It's coming soon, I'm telling you. Next time I go to the scrapyard, I'm getting prices. We're gonna do a comparison video on time and profit, if there is any. See ya.